Hey guys, GamingSmoke here. So I'm back again to do another box showcase video, but today we're going to be doing TEQ. So my TEQ units, this is a team or team variation I don't really use very often, as I don't feel the units I have are the best, but I thought I'd go through them anyway just to show you what I do have, and they're all in the order that I actually received them. So one of the first units I ever received was this Super Saiyan Goku. In the 2-year anniversary, we got another one with 2 fingers up instead of 1, but I still got this original one from when I first started the game. As he is Super Saiyan Goku, he does have a farmable super attack from the LR Goku event, but I'm not really going to raise his SA, I don't think, as I don't believe he's a unit I'm going to use that often. Margin Vegeta was a unit I used to use a lot in the World Tournament when I first kind of got the game. I was running a Super Saiyan Gotenks leader, and I also had him as in the team along with, I think it was a Super Saiyan Gogeta strength. So he did me pretty well in the tournament. He's not the strongest attack-all unit, but he was the only one I had at the time, and I had to make do with that. So I'm actually not too upset that I had this unit. Like I said, it was better than what I had before, which was nothing, so it actually did me very well. So it's not like now where you have the int Raditz that as an attack-all unit and a free-to-play unit that you can actually 100%. So he was actually pretty decent. This Vegeta, suppose everyone always talks about him getting the shaft because he doesn't have over and a flash, which is kind of true. He doesn't link very well on his respective teams, but this art is quite nice actually. But again, he's a unit I do not use very often, unfortunately. And look, he's only SA2. This Beerus, I've actually pulled quite a few number of these units, but I'm yet to raise his SA or open any of his paths. I've given him some investment in Hidden Potential system, but I'm not really sure he's the unit I want to put all of my time and effort into. Not yet anyway. But I remember his passive came in very clutch at times. When his HP went lower than 30%, he would enter rage mode, kind of like the new Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Bulma, but this was the first unit to do that. So he basically gave you a free turn where you couldn't be damaged, so that was very good. This cell, I'm contemplating getting this cell to 100%, or at least opening all its paths, because I do like its passive where it recovers 30% of damage dealt as HP, so that is actually very decent. This Goku here is definitely the Goku I think you should 100% if you're free to play. He is very good. He has a crazy passive that allows him to hit the enemy with 180% attack up. It has a high chance, I think that's maybe 70%. So it happens quite often actually, and he does have a few categories. So he is actually a very decent unit. The art for me isn't the best, but he's definitely a very good unit that I would recommend. What we got here? So here's my Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. So again, he's actually quite decent. Unfortunately, because TEQ isn't a team I use very often, he's kind of sitting on the sidelines at the moment. But he's definitely a solid unit, and I do recommend him if you like running a full TEQ team. So we got what else we got here? This Piccolo is actually quite decent. You can get him from the Bubba shop. He actually reduces all damage received by 50% when guard is activated, so he's quite a good unit for Super Battle Road. If you invested a lot of orbs into him, he would be able to tank quite well. But as you saw, I didn't invest anything into him, so he's not the best, unfortunately. This Cabba is actually quite decent. If you invest in him and open up all his paths, he is quite decent. You can actually, like I said, decent again. You can actually Dokkan Awaken him as well from the new Universe 6 event. So that is also something very good. I've got LR Hercule, but just before that, I've got Mutaito. He was the unit I would use to seal a lot of the time on my Super TEQ team, or just TEQ team in general back then. And I didn't have another sealer, and I didn't have Jackie Chun. So he is actually very decent for me back then. So I recommend him if you don't have anything else. But then again, you can actually get Jackie Chun from the Strike event for free, so you can just use him instead. So LR Hercule, as you can see, he's only SA10. I did do a video on him just deciding whether or not if he's any good. And I would say he's decent for a free-to-play card. I think if I had some orb investment and had him at 20 attack, super attack 20 out of 20, he'd be hitting a lot harder than what he did in the video. I think he hit around 500,000, which is decent, it's respectable. But he could hit a lot harder, especially for an LR. Like compared to the LR androids, I don't think he hits as hard, unfortunately. But he is decent nonetheless, and I think the art here is quite nice as well. It's quite a nice card. So I would definitely say get him. He is quite expensive though. If you don't realize, you have to buy the tournament belts from the barbershop, and you can only buy 3 a day, and it costs 100. You need 100 belts, and they each cost 1 million zenny each. So it's going to take you a while, kind of like LR Broly, to get him. So this unit here, I can't remember when we got him. It might have been April Fools, but it is actually a very funny unit. I do use him for the World Tournament. Not the World Tournament, but to get the Hercule World Tournament, to get the gold statues, as he is a World Tournament unit. As long as he doesn't get attacked, he's fine, because his defense is reduced to 0 at the start of the term, as it's the running Yamcha joke that he's not very good. So he's always just dying. So it's actually quite a funny unit. There's also another version when he's like dead in a hole, but I don't have that one, I don't think. So we have LR Goku. When I first started the game, there wasn't an opportunity or an event to grind him, so I never got him for the longest while, as the only way to get him at the time was to use strike units, and I just couldn't really be bothered to do that. But I thought to myself, when the event came out, I might as well get him. So I got him to 100% in the hidden potential system, SA 20 out of 20, and he is quite decent, especially now that I have his dad on my team, or in my box. I'm able to actually run him as a good unit. So as you can see, I got a few more units here. This Merge the Master is really good. His drop, he has a farmable super attack if you didn't know, but the drop weight wasn't the best. I think I have 3 copies of him in the hidden potential system, and he hits pretty hard. When he's on the right team, he's hitting for over 1 million constantly, and he crits a lot as well. So as you can see, I have him at 17 level 17 critical hit, so he is actually hitting pretty damn hard. Okay, what else have I got? So Golden Frieza, I got Golden Frieza to 100% in the hidden potential system. I thought I would use him on the EZA Super Saiyan 3 Goku event. He did okay. He could have done better, but he did okay. Him at 100%, he literally takes no damage whatsoever, as long as his HP is over 50%. That is the only bad thing about this unit, as he's not able to reduce any damage if his HP drops below 50%. But I guess that is in line with the movie. Once he runs out of stamina, he starts to get weaker, so it makes sense. I understand what they were doing there. So that is a pretty decent unit. For those of you starting off, if you ever pull this unit and you want to complete the Broly event, the physical Broly, he is a very good unit to use. I never had him at the time when I first did the event. I mainly focused on units that greatly lowered defense, but if you don't have any units like that, you can use this Goldo. His passive is what makes him very interesting. So he lowers all enemies' defense to 0 once after he's been attacked. So the high defense that Broly has will be reduced to 0 after he's been attacked. So he is actually very decent for that. So what else have we got here? So Cell. So the Cell is going to have his EZA very soon, if you've been following what's been happening on Dokkan Battle JP. As you can see, he's only SA 1 out of 10, and I haven't given him any orbs, unfortunately. But he does hit pretty hard. I know people used to nuke with him back in the day. That wasn't something I did, unfortunately, as that was a bit before my time. But I couldn't be bothered using all those items to change the orbs and nuke. I just played the game, didn't try and one-shot the enemy and things like that. So this Bulma here is actually a free-to-play Bulma. She's a very good unit. She has quite good stats, and she's 100% in the hidden potential system, as she has her own special orbs. Her event unfortunately has not come back just yet, but she does have a very good passive. She reduces all damage received by 50%, or rather has a great chance, which I think is about 70%, or maybe, yeah, 75%. And she recovers over 7,000 HP every time she takes a rainbow key orb. So that makes her a very good unit to use, especially if you want to heal a lot and on the Peppy Girls team, or if you're just running a free-to-play team, she's also a very good candidate. So here we have Master. I really wanted Master Saiyan. He was one of the units I really wanted when he was first announced, and I couldn't wait until he came to Global Dokkan Battle. So when his banner came out with Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I was definitely on that straight away, and I was lucky enough to pull him. So I have pulled, I think, maybe 1 or 2 copies of him. I'm not sure how many I have. Actually, I think it's 1 copy. So he does have a crazy high percentage, so attack plus 50,000 and defense plus 20,000 when facing 2 or less enemies, which isn't too bad. The majority of the time you are facing 2 or fewer enemies, so it's not too bad at all. So he's definitely a unit I really like. He hits crazy hard, kind of like LR Broly, because with the flat flat attack boost. But if the attack boost is crazy high like this, they do hit very hard. Unfortunately, I think the LR androids, their attack is like 15,000, so it's not the best, but it is okay. So we have Bio Broly. Bio Broly is actually a very good unit. He can block very well. His defense is at plus 100%. But his attack is minus 50% when he's only facing 1 enemy. But if he's facing 2 or more enemies, his attack is plus 100% but defense minus 50%. So you have to be careful when you use this unit. I did try and use him with the Goku Super Saiyan 3 Goku EZA, but as you can see, there were no orbs invested in him, so he wasn't able to do the best, unfortunately. But he is actually a very solid unit, so I would recommend getting him when his event comes out. This is also a very good free-to-play unit, Candy Vegito. I think he came out in Halloween, or at Halloween time last year, maybe. So he's actually, no, maybe the year before, actually. I can't remember. It's been a while. Maybe last year. So he dodges like crazy. He has what's his thing? So he has, I think it's a high chance to evade enemy's attack, including a super attack. And he disables the enemy's guard. And he recovers HP with Candy. The recovering HP part is not that interesting unless you're doing the Boo event, as that's the only event where that is affected. But he is a very good unit nonetheless, and I would recommend getting him if and when the event comes back. So he's very easy to get, and he's very good in certain situations. So here we have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to pull any dupes of him, so he just has the free basic orb investment in the hidden potential system. He's a unit I like a lot. I use him on my heroes team because he is actually that good. He has a high chance to evade enemies attack, which again I think is about 70%. When him and Omega Shenron came out, I actually wanted Omega Shenron as he was the better unit in my opinion, as if you can see with Vegito's passive, he lowers the attack and defense of 20% but to the enemy, but only if they're extreme class, whereas the Omega Shenron does that to all enemies. So to me that just makes him a lot better, as there isn't a restriction on the passive. So he's definitely a good unit. What else have I got here? So as you can see, all of these units up here got quite a few duplicates of some units. This this Goku Black I pulled randomly. I wasn't even trying. I think it was the Universe 6 Saiyan banner with Caulifla and Kale. So I randomly just thought I'd do single summon, sorry not single, a multi summon for about 30 stones, and he randomly appeared. I was like, what the? I wasn't even trying. He randomly appeared for me. So as I always say, don't try and hunt for the LRs. You could just randomly pull them one day, and that makes it more worthwhile, because I know how it feels, because this happened to me a few times, when you go in really deep in a banner, keeps using stone, trying to get a specific unit, and you never get that unit. So it's all luck based. Nothing is guaranteed in this game. Just try and enjoy the game. If you're lucky, you pull him, or pull a unit you want, like an LR. So yeah, just try and play the game, enjoy it. As you can see, I've got 2 of these cells. So as I said before, I'm thinking about opening up all his paths in the hidden potential system. So more duplicates. I wanted this Bardock for the longest while. I never pulled him. Then randomly he just appeared one day, and I was like, oh wow. All that time I wanted him, I never got him, and randomly he appeared. So I would use him with the LR Goku, as it's his best linking partner, as they share pretty much all the links, and he provides orbs for him, as he's an orb changer as well as the super attack sealer. So he's actually a pretty decent unit. So I recently pulled Super Saiyan 3 Broly. So this Broly is actually very decent. The only thing is you got to make sure he doesn't get hit, because his super attack, not super attack, he gets an attack buff of 12% for every key sphere obtained, but his defense goes down by 10%. So it makes him a bit of a liability if you have him being attacked directly after he's attacked. So just make sure he's not going to be attacked afterwards and you'll be alright. He's actually a very hard hitter, so he's one I would recommend getting. And he has a farmable super attack. So I have Vegito Blue here. So if you saw my summon video, you saw when I pulled him. So I managed to use some Kais to get him to SA10. But unfortunately, because LR Vegito Blue is out and I have him at 100%, this unit is not the unit I use that often, unfortunately. I think if I had some of his paths open, he'd be a unit I'd use a lot more. But unfortunately at this time, he's not a unit I use too often. So I'm sure some of you hate to hear that, but it's the truth, unfortunately. But as I said, if I get some more copies of him and I open up his paths, he's definitely going to be a unit I'm going to use more often. So here I am collecting this Trunks from the Tapion event. So I'm just trying to get the medals necessary to Dokkan awaken the others, so I can use them to open up their paths. Sorry, use them to open up the main one's path in the hidden potential system and get him. I just like to open paths. I don't necessarily like to get the units 100%, but if I ever do one day, at least I have the paths open just in case. And this is the last unit I pulled randomly from the World Tournament. Again, he's a unit I've been trying to get for the longest while. Trying. Usually I just get really terrible units on the Dragon Ball Saga summon banner. But this time, for some reason, I was lucky. I think it's because they changed the banner and maybe improved the rates. So I actually got him, and I also got the new Jackie Chun, the Int Jackie Chun. So yeah, that was actually pretty decent. But out of all of these, I'd probably say my favorite unit that I use the most is it's probably tied between Masu on the villains team and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So yeah, that's a unit I use quite often actually. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my box showcase. So today was TEQ. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and if you have any recommendations for what you'd like to see me do next, please feel free to let me know. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.